Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sutta Devi Panamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So today I will answer inquiries submitted by you from Canto 1, chapters 9 and 10. We still will be left over with a little more inquiries, and as we progress, we'll get caught up very soon. And towards the end of our class today, I will give you a link if any one of you is interested to contribute to the Kirtan event planned here in Toronto. And Sumnima will also share a link for the app she has created for keeping all of us engaged in Krishna conscious activities, where Sumnima has created an app that lists for questions and answers for each chapter. So you have free time, you can simply open the app. The questions are listed by each chapter, and you can just spend your time on Krishna consciousness rather than anything and everything. So let me bring up inquiries on screen and we will proceed. Question 1. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.6 and 7 purport, Prabhupada says there is practically no difference between the family priest and the spiritual master. Is the family priest related to Karma Kanda, and they might not be under the disciplic succession? So how do you understand this? Now, this statement in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.6 and 7 is talking about Dhaumya, a great sage who practiced severe austerities and is appointed as the priest of Pandavas. And in the purport, Prabhupada says that Dhaumya was the right type of priest for a householder because he could guide the Pandavas on the right path of religion. So you cannot blindly apply the state of a particular great sage like Dhaumya to other priests. Nowadays, some priests themselves have questionable standards. So you cannot blindly apply. This statement applies to a particular great sage Dhaumya, and for others, you have to understand and apply according to the situation, that if somebody is at Karma Kanda level, you cannot equate them at the level of spiritual master. Does that answer the inquiry? All right, question 2. Some say Krishna is black. Somewhere it says blue, like Bhishma Dev is saying, Tamala Varanam. So what is Lord Ram's and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's complexion? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's complexion is golden, like that of Srimati Radharani, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of Srimati Radharani to understand the love of Srimati Radharani for him. Lord Ram's complexion was normal. There is no specific color given for Lord Ram. Does that answer the inquiry? Question 3. From 1.9.37 Bhagavatam purport. Duryodhan was satisfied and he kept the arrows, the 5 arrows with him to be delivered the next day during the fight to Bhishma Dev. By tricks, Arjuna took the arrows from Duryodhan. So just wanted to know about this pastime. So as we discussed last time, that one particular day, Duryodhan accused Bhishma Dev that Bhishma Dev is not fighting properly. Therefore, his army is losing. So because of that accusation, Bhishma Dev became angry and he said, these are the 5 arrows. Tomorrow I will fight very fiercely and kill all the 5 Pandavas. So tomorrow Arjuna will get killed or Krishna will have to break his vow to pick up a weapon to protect his devotee. Now Krishna knows the plan. Krishna is there as super soul. So he woke up Arjuna in the night and said, go to Duryodhan and the vow that Duryodhan had given to Arjuna long time ago, this is the time to go and ask for that vow. The previous vow was that when Pandavas were in exile, Duryodhan and his team were enjoying deliberately very close to where Pandavas were. And Duryodhan got captured by a village tribe. And the tribe was wanting to kill Duryodhan. So upon hearing this, not Bhishma, but Yudhishthir sent Arjuna and Bhima to protect Duryodhan because he still is the king. So without fighting, Arjuna and Bhima could convince the tribe that captured Duryodhan that release him. And they released Duryodhan. So Duryodhan at that time promised Arjuna that I will give you whatever you will ask for. So this is what Krishna reminded to Arjuna, that Duryodhan will give you whatever you ask for because of his vow long time ago. So go and ask for those 5 arrows that Bhishma Dev has given to Duryodhan to use in the battle on the following day. So the following day, when uh, Bhishma Dev asked for the 5 arrows to Duryodhan, Duryodhan explained what happened, and Bhishma Dev became angry. He said, "Today I will fight very fiercely against Arjuna. Either Arjuna will get killed or Krishna will have to break his vow and pick up weapons to protect his dear devotee Arjuna." And that's what happened. That Bhishma Dev fought very fiercely, and to protect Arjuna is why Krishna came running to Bhishma Dev as if to kill him. So we have the visual, one of my favorite visual on the screen, that Bhishma Dev is just standing surrendered and saying to Krishna, "Just kill me." And Arjuna is trying to stop the running Krishna. So this is the brief story. Does that answer? Correct. Question 4. Do devotees based on the rasa go to that particular planet as mentioned? Please cite other examples. What about Arjuna? Which planet would he go to based on Sakha rasa that he shares with Krishna? So Bhishma Dev is in the mood of servitor to the Parthsati form of Krishna, attained the Vaikuntha planet where the Parthsati form eternally resides. Similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.30, it states that Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila, was promoted to the Kapila Vaikuntha planet where Lord Kapila eternally resides. So we discussed at the yoga ladder discussion, including just a couple days back at batch 6 and 7, that pure devotee in the mood of love will attain Goloka Vrindavan, and pure devotee in the mood of awe and reverence will attain Vaikuntha planet. So you all will soon read from Canto 1, Chapter 15, verse 47 and 48. So 1.15.47.48 states that Pandavas attained the spiritual sky ruled by Narayan, means they attained Vaikuntha planets. Plus in 1.15.50 states that Draupadi and Subhadra also attained the same result. So these are some of the examples that how devotees attain respective spiritual sky. So it's not just the rasa that matters, it's the mood that matters. So if you are in the mood of love, then you will attain Goloka Vrindavan. And if you are in the mood of awe and reverence, you will attain Vaikuntha planet. Either way, you have to be pure devotee to attain spiritual sky. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You have follow-up question?
Yes, Prabhuji. I was just saying that if I find a devotee partner who is in rasa, and so can like because if he's doing devotion, then I can also like go with him. Is it like that, or
when you say partner, as in you are referring to spouse?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So very good. So we have discussed this at earlier classes, and I'll repeat that in Bhagavatam there are examples given, for example, of Prithu Maharaj's wife Archi, then Lord Shiva's wife Parvati, that if the wife simply serves the husband is a devotee, the husband is engaged in devotional services, and the wife is serving the husband so that the husband can execute the devotional services nicely. The wife gets the same result as that of the husband, even when the wife is only serving the husband. Shreyanshi?
Okay, Prabhuji. And if we both are in different rasa, then we will go to other planets accordingly.
I mean, the ideal is to have slightly matching rasa. Otherwise, there'll be a little bit of disconnect. I didn't say conflict, but there'll be a little bit of disconnect. Same rasa is preferred. Nothing wrong with having slightly different rasa. Nothing wrong. Understand that, say, if the husband is in the mood of love versus the wife is in the mood of awe and reverence, it's possible that the wife will also progress to being in the mood of love after a little while. It's possible. Shreyanshi?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Everybody on the same page? Question 5. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.42. This enlightenment attained by great Mahatmas or devotees, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, that Vasudev is all in everything, and that there is no existence of anything without Vasudev. So question is this state of enlightenment the state of transcendence? When this stage is reached, does it become the last stage for a pure devotee or exalted devotee in this material life? Is this also what happened to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So multiple questions are there. Now you are correct that one who understands Vasudev is everything is the enlightenment of transcendence. Now, when one becomes a pure devotee, one initially is just like a child, meaning a pure devotee has attained prema. Still, at the initial stages, it is called Bala Prema. That like a child. Bala means child. The prema is still like a child. And little by little, the prema continues to mature just as a child grows from being a child, and the child then matures. Now, the child analogy is just to explain the point that the prema grows. The child analogy does not mean that the pure devotee has any defects. So Srila Narad Muni is the example of the Bala Prema at initial stages. But now, today, Srila Narad Muni is grown further from the initial Brahma Bala Prema and is at the mature stage. And the last part of the question, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, so all these points do not apply to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach the highest form of devotion, which is devotion in separation. Does that answer the series of questions?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Question number 6. The Parth, Sarthi and Shyamsundar forms of the Lord are considered the same. They are not different personalities. But what about his different incarnations like Vishnu, Narayan or Rama? Even though they are Krishna's parts, are they not different in terms of personalities and attributes? So all incarnations come from Krishna and all incarnations have their own personalities. Now this statement about Parthsati and Shyam Sundar form are considered same is coming from 1.9.42 purport last paragraph, where Prabhupada has said that Parthsati for Bhishma Dev and Krishna for gopis is identical, that some mistake as different personalities. Now understand what Prabhupada is explaining here. That Prabhupada is explaining that the Parthsarthi form of Krishna and Krishna are at the same Vishnu Tattva level. Meaning they are at the same Tattva level, still they are different personalities. Right? So Parthsarthi form is incarnation of Krishna at the same Vishnu Tattva level, still a different personality. Now the inquiry said Vishnu, Narayan, Rama are parts of Krishna. So it's not parts of Krishna. Vishnu, Narayan, Rama are incarnations of Krishna. They are all different personalities, but incarnations is the correct word to use. Does that answer the inquiry? Right. Question from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.48 about Gandhari, that she suffered all this just like an ascetic. Gandhari, although a woman, is no less than Bhishma Devi in character. Our inquiries, this is very surprising. As in almost all television show versions, Gandhari is shown as an attached mother who in anger after the death of her sons curses Krishna and the entire Yadu family. So I'm curious to know why Gandhari is glorified here and compared to be as great as Bhishma Dev. So Gandhari is also an example of a chaste woman. Just as Bhishma Dev is a chaste devotee of Krishna, or Shiva is a chaste devotee of Krishna, similarly Gandhari is a chaste woman. Therefore, Gandhari is glorified. Does that answer the inquiry? Everybody is very silent.
So, Prabhuji, do we see like chaste women today, like in this day and age?
Very good inquiry. If you look at materialistic people, it will be very difficult to find chaste women. I'll give you a live example from the Toronto temple. So there is this one family, husband, wife, and they have a young child. So I know them because I will generally see them during book distribution events. And I know the child is also very, very good book distributor. He's a very young child. But I don't know their names. I mean, I cross them sometimes at the temple while doing services, but I do not know their names. So one time the wife was there at the temple um, while I was doing services in the kitchen. So I asked the wife, so that we were just discussing, and he said, well, you know about my husband, we meet at the book distribution. So I took that opportunity to ask the name of the husband. So this wife, both are devotees, obviously. I mean, the child is also devotee. So the wife said, I cannot take my husband's name. Now, this is not some past story from Vedic times. I am saying recently, just in the last few months, live in Toronto. The wife says, I cannot take my husband's name. Now, she just did not make this up. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, the Devahuti chapter actually has this verse that the wife should not take the name of the husband. Otherwise, the husband's lifespan is reduced. There's an actual verse in Bhagavatam for this. So, when you ask that can we find chaste wife in today's life? Well, you have to look at devotees, not at materialistic people. Right? This wife, this devotee wife is obviously a chaste wife, that she is literally following Bhagavatam. That's an actual verse from the Devhuti chapters, where it clearly says that wife should not take the name of the husband. Does that give a live example, Kunal? Everybody?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, I mean, it is Kali Yuga, so you cannot expect much. But yeah, I think that gives a good example. Thank you.
Yes, it is Kali Yuga, no doubt about it. And simultaneously, we have discussed that the first 10,000 years of Kali Yuga, where we live in, is called as Satyug within Kali Yuga. The 10,000 year count starts from the day of appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which was roughly 500 years ago. So roughly 9,500 years are still left in the 10,000 Satyug within Kali Yuga. These 10,000 years are meant for all devotees to purify themselves and go back home, back to Godhead, because after these 10,000 years are passed, it will become next to impossible to practice spirituality when the real Kali Yuga will flourish. So don't wait, all of you, don't wait. Oh, I still have 9,500 years. No, don't wait. This 9,500 years will go in a blink of an eye. Make this life, take a vow to make this life as your last life. Take a vow that I need to purify myself, I need to get initiated and go back home, back to Godhead in this life itself. Otherwise, spirituality is dwindling day by day, and it's going to become difficult and difficult as Kali Yuga progresses. Kunal, everybody?
Yeah, Prabhuji. I mean, I just maybe I can share this. So I think it was last year I was coming out of the temple after some festival, and there were like two girls walking in front of me in Indian attire. And then the girl takes out a cigarette and then she starts smoking, and then they start discussing where is the next plan, where do we need to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean things are happening here and there. You just have to observe.
Yeah, you are correct. Kali Yuga is already here from a long time ago now, right? So that's why I said to find a chaste woman in today's day, you will have to look at devotees, not just somebody visiting temple, but a real devotee. Yes, those visiting temples are also devotees in the process of getting purified. But devotees who are practicing, for sure, they are chaste. Kunal?
Yeah, Prabhu, thank you.
Sumnima?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we keep saying Kali Yuga is here and all of these things, but is there do devotees bypass some of the nature of Kali Yuga and then, or do they get all of the things that needs to be in Kali Yuga, but still, because they do the devotional service, they can bypass it? How does that
Sumnima,
work?
yeah, Sumnima, do you have or have you ever seen the Back to Godhead magazine?
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So next time you go to the temple,
Mm-mm.
ask somebody to show you the Back to Godhead magazine, and all of you can do this. On top of the Back to Godhead magazine, Prabhupada has said, and this there in Bhagavatam many places, the statement on top of Back to Godhead magazine, Prabhupada says, wherever there is Krishna, there is no room for Maya. Means wherever there is sun, there is no room for darkness. So, yes, Kali Yuga is here, but if you are fully surrendered, if you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra always, if you are doing devotional services always, if you are thinking of Krishna always, then you are with Krishna always, then Maya will not touch you. But the moment we waver from our sadhana, Maya is right there. So Prabhupada has said many places this point that wherever there is Krishna, Maya will also be simultaneously be present. So you are either under Krishna or you are under Maya. There is no third choice. Right? So devotees in Kali Yuga, if they are fully surrendered, miseries will happen, but they don't get affected by the miseries. Of course, I'm talking of pure devotees. They don't get affected by miseries because they use the miseries like Kunti Maharani to remember Krishna more and more. In terms of bypassing, no, you cannot bypass. Right? You are in the world where Kali Yuga is happening. It's just your thought process is different with what you do with the miseries. Materialistic people, when miseries happen, is like their response will be, why is this happening to me? And when miseries happen to devotees, they use the opportunity to remember Krishna more. Sumnima?
Yes, Prabhuji. So what I'm understanding is everything is same for devotee and non-devotee. It's just how they react to the things that's happening in the Kali Yuga, right?
Correct. And Prabhupada has given the analogy that the death of a devotee is not the same as the death of materialistic people. And in Bhagavatam, this analogy is there multiple places that Prabhupada has given, that when a cat is carrying a mouse in her mouth, the mouse or the rat is fearing death, that the cat is about to kill me and eat me. And the same cat, when carries the kitten in the same mouth, the kitten is very pleased. The kitten is joyful. Oh, I am under my mother's protection. The kitten is not fearing anything. So death happens to devotees also, but there is a difference. And this is also explained in the Dhruv Maharaj chapter, that when Dhruv Maharaj was ready to go to spiritual world, when Nanda and Sunanda came with the airplane to take Dhruv Maharaj to the spiritual world, at that time, death personified came in front of Dhruv Maharaj. Now, Dhruv Maharaj was not afraid. Rather, Dhruv Maharaj used that personified also in service, that he said, okay, step down here. The airplane is little too high for me. So step down, I will climb on your back and then board the plane. Right? So devotees are not afraid of death. Yes, death still happens. But they are not afraid because they say, oh, I am going to go to better spiritual world, and I'm anyway going to continue devotional services in the spiritual world. What I am doing here, actually, it's better in spiritual world, that in the spiritual world I don't have the distractions of the material body and the distractions of the mind. Therefore, I will be able to do devotional services without any hindrances. Sumnima, everybody?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Very good. Very good inquiries. Thank you. Question 8. From Bhagavatam 1.9.41, it is mentioned that Bhishma Dev remembered the presence of Lord Krishna when Maharaj Yudhishthir performed Rajsuya Yajna. When did this yajna happen? Can you please help me understand? So there is another question similar for this Rajsuya Yajna. That there were multiple Rajsuya Yajna performed and Bhishma Dev is remembering one such yajna. Question number 9. Two desires of Bhishma Dev. One is to be attacked by Krishna and second is to see Krishna on deathbed. Why did Bhishma Dev want to be attacked by Krishna? So we discussed at great length, and I also showed you the visual few minutes ago, that Krishna running to Bhishma Dev with a chariot wheel was reciprocation. Therefore, Bhishma Dev wanting to be attacked by Krishna is wanting reciprocation. Does that answer the inquiry?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Here, why in particularly attack? Like there could be so many other desires he could have. So was there anything related with him being attacked by Krishna?
Yeah, he was relishing, like, because we also discussed this point that because Bhishma Dev is in the chivalrous rasa, therefore Bhishma Dev shooting arrows at Krishna was enjoyed by Krishna, and Krishna similarly running to Bhishma Dev with a chariot wheel as if to kill Bhishma Dev is also reciprocation. So it's the rasa. That's why the attacking both ways is relevant and is relished both ways. Sumnima?
Okay, Prabhuji.
All right. Question number 10. Can you please explain what is Sayuja liberation of the impersonalist? And how is it different from the gopis' equality with the Lord? Very good. A very good inquiry. Very good listening and hearing and reading with rapt attention. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.13 describes the 5 kinds of liberation. I will bring up on screen. It's 3.29.13 is a key memorization verse. That Shalokya Sharisti Shamipya Sarukya Ekatvam Api Uta Diya Mananam Nagrahanti Vinamat Sevanam Jana. Denisha, you want to read the translation from the screen, 329.13?
A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. Saloka, Sarshti, Samipya, Sarupya, or Ekatva, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So in this verse, the Sayujya is referred as Ekatva. Right? So if you see here, it's one and the same. Ekatvam means Sayujya, means oneness, means wanting to merge with the Lord. Sayujya liberation means wanting to merge with the Lord. Now this oneness of pure devotee with the Lord is not to merge. Rather, pure devotees' only desire is to execute the will of the Lord. That is oneness. Means the will of the Lord and the will of the devotee is one. That is oneness of the pure devotee, not like Mayavadis wanting to merge. And this oneness of the pure devotee is, as well as of the Mayavadis, in incorrect interpretation, is described in Bhagavatam 3.29.9 last paragraph. So I'll bring up on screen 3.29.9. I mean, this point is explained many places. I'm bringing one. And Ramya can read the last paragraph in the purport.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Mayavadis, however, interpret this word separateness in a different way. They say that while worshipping the Lord, one should think himself.
Ramya, your voice is not clear. You fix your voice, we'll get Somnima to read the last paragraph.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now, Prabhuji?
Your voice is not clear. You can disconnect and connect again, please.
Okay, sure.
Hare Krishna. Mayavadis, however, interpret this word separatists in a different way. They say that while worshipping the Lord, one should think himself one with the Supreme Lord. This is another adulterate form of devotion within the modes of material nature. The conception that the living entity is one with the Supreme is in the mode of ignorance. Oneness is actually based on oneness of interest. A pure devotee has no interest but to act on behalf of Supreme Lord. When one has even a tinge of personal interest, his devotion is mixed with the three modes of material nature.
Right. So oneness is what? Oneness of interest. So go back to the inquiry that what's the inquiry that Sayuja and what's the Sayuja I explained is wanting to merge. So actually there's no such thing as merging. It's just a misinterpretation of Mayavadis. And the pure devotees or gopis oneness is oneness of the will of the Lord. Does that answer the inquiry? Many of you are silent, although one devotee has asked this question. I'm pretty sure many questions apply to many of you. All right.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare
I have a little queries in this question. Thing is that we are doing devotional service with an objective to attend Golok Vrindavan. That is our main target. Is it not be considered as our interest?
So in comparison to having material desire, the desire to attain spiritual world is appropriate desire. And as you progress on the path of spirituality, as you become purer and purer, this desire of wanting to go to spiritual world will also go away. Your desire will only be, let me engage in services, whether I am in material world, whether I am in spiritual world, whether I am in hell, it does not matter. My only goal is devotional services. So I explained in 3.29.13, the verse says, the devotee is not interested in any kinds of liberation. Even the Lord is giving liberation. The devotee says, no, if service is not there. Meaning devotee's primary goal is services. So right now, your desire of wanting to go to Goloka Vrindavan, yeah, okay, stay with that desire. And as you continue to do devotional services, this desire will also go away, and your desire will come to saying, I only want devotional services. I'm not interested to go to spiritual world. Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, actually we are in the process of purification. That's why these are coming in our
Yeah, and you are
thinking.
absolutely correct. You are correct, right? We are in the process of purification. And right now, having this desire to go to Goloka Vrindavan is okay. Maintain that desire. Just continue devotional services, and that desire will get purified just by doing devotional services. Path Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, now clear it is.
Shreyaji?
Prabhuji, I would like to ask, like, going to Golok is there, but I think it depends on the stage of the devotee. I would just like to mention that if somebody is in somebody who has just started as a neophyte and their situation is not that good, so I feel like everybody goes to that stage where they're like, I want things to be first stable so that I can serve Krishna better. Then I mean, I feel like there are some or the other wishes definitely attached. That I don't want to do everything alone. I want I
Yeah,
want somebody who can like guide me, and also we can do it alone, because doing spirituality alone is very difficult.
yeah, you are correct.
So,
You are correct that doing spirituality alone is difficult, and always helps when your immediate family is also a devotee, then it definitely helps. And we already read in the verse couple minutes back from 3.29.9 that Prabhupada says if you have other desires, even though what Path Prabhu is saying of wanting to go to Goloka Vrindavan, it's a good desire. Continue to maintain the desire, but understand that a pure devotee's only desire is devotional service. And you will come to that state by continuing to do devotional services. So right now, continue to maintain your this desire. Continue to maintain your mixed devotion. It's not just this Path Prabhu's desire that I want to go to Goloka. No, at least I also have material desires. Right? So continue mixed mixed devotional activities, which can also include material desires. It's the devotional services that will purify anything and everything, so as to that we will come to the point where our only desire will be, I only want to do devotional services wherever Krishna sends me. Shivanji?
yes, Prabhuji, praying for that day to come, but right now, like, I'm just focused on like what I'm able to do and how it is bringing change. Because like how you said, right, karma kanda karma, I'm also at Gyan Yoga. Like, even though I want to be in Bhakti Yoga, but I have to bypass through Gyan Yoga so that I can see the change. So
Yeah, so
I
there's
do not
difference.
want
So
to lie.
yeah,
Yeah.
let me pause you. Now, there's difference between Gyan Yoga path and the knowledge that you are acquiring. We discussed at great length in Srimad Bhagavatam at the start that Gyan Yoga path we don't have to follow. But knowledge that is going to help me to establish a footing on the path of bhakti, which is the knowledge that comes from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, etc. scriptures, bhakti scriptures. Yes, that I will take, that I need, but not the Gyan Yoga path, right? Gyan Yoga path is path of no activity. Gyan Yoga path is the following the neti, 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 that I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. That path we don't follow, and Krishna has clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that Gyan Yoga path is very difficult. It only brings klesha. misery. And Arjuna's options at the start of Bhagavad Gita were either do Karma Yoga or Gyan Yoga. And Krishna says, no, do Karma Yoga. It's better. Do Karma Yoga as Bhakti Yoga. And towards the end of your life, when you have to renounce the activities, instead of Gyan Yoga, follow Ashtanga Yoga. Right? So definitely not Gyan Yoga path. Knowledge, yes, not the Gyan Yoga path. So there's difference, and I've described all of this at the yoga letter class. So Shivachi, you just got the yoga letter from batch 6 and 7 recording just yesterday. All this is already discussed in that. I briefly summarize right now. Shivachi,
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
everybody on the same page?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So question number 11 is a long question, also referring to the multiple Rajasuya Yajna. And I won't read the question. I already answered this, and I will repeat that as we already discussed that there were multiple Rajasuya Yajna performed, and Bhishma Dev is remembering one of them. Question number 12. What is the meaning of Mahajan? How is Bhishma Dev a Mahajan? So, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20 describes the listing of 12 Mahajans. I will bring this verse up on screen and we'll see if Ramya is able to read. Now, this 6.3.20 verse, Yamraj is speaking this verse. Therefore, where the verse says, and I, list all the personalities were Mahajans, and he says, and I. So that is referring to Yamraj. So Mahajan means one who knows everything about spirituality. So how Bhishma Dev is a Mahajan? It's a fact that these 12 personalities, including Bhishma Dev, are Mahajans. So let's read 6.3.20 from the screen. That who are these 12 Mahajans? Although quite well-known verse to recite in Sanskrit, but right now we'll skip and we will only read the translation. Ramya?
Hare Krishna. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaja, Grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaja, Sukadeva Goswami, and myself know the real religious principle. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavata Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human being to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead.
Very good. Does that answer the inquiry, the 12 Mahajans, and list Bhishma Dev also as one of the 12 Mahajans? Follow me?
Prabhuji, one query. Does it mean that if we pray, can we pray to a Mahajan also? Because it's a pure devotee, but I don't know if it's possible. Will that have an effect on making us understand the rasa and being closer?
Yeah, yeah, very good. So Mahajan is also a pure devotee, but all pure devotees are not Mahajans. Right? Mahajans are only these 12. Yes, they are all pure devotees also. Rest of the pure devotees are pure devotees, but not Mahajans. Follow me?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, is that the reason why in Narasimha Mantra we also glorify Prahlad Maharaj? Because pure devotee and Mahajan.
So why we glorify devotees of the Lord is because it is pleasing to the Lord. That's why we also glorify Prahlad Maharaj when we are reciting Narasimhadev prayers, because it pleases the Lord. So understand, what is the definition of pure devotional service? Anybody remembers Anya Vilashita Shunyam verse? You have memorized? Anybody? What is pure devotional service? Anybody wants to recite, or even if you have to look it up?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, go ahead.
Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavratam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhaktiruttama.
Very good. Follow me. Read the translation from the screen. So I have the Anyabhilashita Shunyam recited perfectly. Read the translation.
Translation: when first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy, and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires.
Right.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. So if you go back to our Nectar of Devotion discussion, the third and the fourth line is the primary characteristics, and the first two line of Anyabhilashya Shunyam and Jnana Karmadi Anavratam, that is secondary. Primary is Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam, that serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. So Krishna likes to remember his devotees. So when we take the pure devotee's name, Krishna goes in ecstasy, remembering his pure devotee. That's why we take the name of the pure devotees. That's why we sing the kirtan that is sung by pure devotees. Follow me, everybody?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Very good. Very good inquiries. Thank you for following up with inquiries. Thank you for listening with rapt attention. All right. So now next question. Why is hearing considered as the most important devotional service? Very important inquiry. We'll soon read from Bhagavatam. And you all will soon also read and hear in Canto 2, Chapter 5 and onwards to Canto 3, Chapter 5, the discussion on creation, that how creation happened. Creation started with sound. And our existence can also end with sound by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So I'll bring up on screen 3.26.32 to understand what is the potency of sound. Let's see, 3.26.32. Yeah. Padma Kumar, you want to read the translation and first paragraph?
When egoism
in ignorance is agitated by the sex energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The subtle element sound is manifested, and from sound comes the ethereal sky and the sense of hearing. It appears from this verse that all the objects of our sense gratification are the products of egoism in ignorance. It is understood from this verse that by agitation of the element of egoism in ignorance, the first thing produced was sound, which is the subtle form of ether. It is stated also in Vedanta Sutra that the sound is the origin of all objects of material possession, and that by sound one can also dissolve this material existence. Anavirta Sabdat means liberation by sound. Entire material manifestation begin with sound, and sound can also end material entanglement if it has a particular potency. The particular sound capable of doing this is the transcendental vibration Hare Krishna. Our entanglement in material affairs have begun from material sound. Now we must purify that sound in spiritual understanding. There is sound in the spiritual world also. If we approach that sound, then our spiritual life begins, and the other requirements for spiritual advancement can be applied. We have to understand very clearly that sound is the beginning of creation of all material objects for our sense gratification. Similarly, if sound is purified, our spiritual necessity also are produced from sound. Hare Krishna.
Very good, right? So Prabhupada clearly explains, and as you will soon hear discussions on Canto 2, Chapter 5 onwards to Canto 3, Chapter 5, that how creation happened. That's what Prabhupada is saying, that everything started with sound. And you will see visuals for all of this in the upcoming classes, that everything started with sound. And everything can end also with proper sound, which is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now, besides this, we have also discussed that hearing is one of the 9 processes of devotional services stated in Bhagavatam 7.5.23, as well as in Bhagavad Gita 7.1 with Tat Shrunu. Plus, we have also discussed in Canto 1, Chapter 2, as well as many other places in Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing is emphasized. So because scriptures have emphasized on hearing process, therefore we accept hearing process as the easier process, because even a child can hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra and get purified. Or even an animal can hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and get benefits. Does that answer the inquiry?
Prabhuji, one follow-up query from this, although not my question, can I ask? Prabhuji, does it mean like in Bengali there's a there's a proverb like poison cuts poison, So if there's a bad sound, you have to like negate it with the sound of the Lord. Is it like that? Because that's how the influence.
Yeah, you are correct that the analogy, although you use it correctly, in Bhagavatam, the same analogy is used with the thorn. That it will come up very, very soon in Canto 1. Use a thorn to take out a thorn, right? So you are absolutely correct that we have to purify ourselves by engaging ourselves positively in spiritual activities, not sitting idle. Right? That sitting idle does not help you. Like Gyan yogis, they follow the path that I will not act in the world because material world is entangling. I don't want to get entangled, so I will not act. Well, it doesn't work that way because you cannot sit idle. You have to work. Follow me?
Yes, Prabhuji, clear. Thank you.
Very good. Question number 14. How many types of liberation are there and what is the difference between them? So we already discussed, and I will again bring up 3.29.13 verse on the screen. Because it has come up today multiple times. What that means, Krishna is telling all of us that memorize this verse. This verse 3.29.13 is definitely a key memorization verse. Shalokya Sarishti Samipya Sarupya Ekatvam Api Uta Diya Mananam Nagrahanti Vina Mat Sevanam Jana. So the inquiry is, what is the meaning of these five translations or 5 kinds of liberation? They're explained right here. So let's see, Kunal Prabhu, you want to read the word for word translation that is highlighted for the 5 kinds of liberation from the screen?
Yeah, Prabhuji. So Shalokya, living on the same planet. Saristi, having the same opulence. Samipya, to be a personal associate. Sarupya, having the same bodily features. Ekatvam, oneness.
Right, so all this is like living on the same planet as the Lord, having the same opulence as the Lord. It's all referring to wanting to be same. Now, Ekatvam we already discussed. This is Sayujya, oneness. We already discussed earlier today that devotees are not interested in Sayujya definitely. And the remaining 4 kinds of liberation, devotee may accept as long as there is devotional services together with the remaining 4 liberation. Does that answer the inquiry? All right, next question, you all are going to wake up. Next question, I have a question for all of you. Let's see. I want 100% responses. Question number 15. All scriptures teaches us to focus on Lord Krishna's two-handed form. Then why Bhishma Dev is meditating upon the four-handed Vishnu form of the Lord? So the question for all of you is that all of you offer obeisances and worship the Lord at the temple and or at your home temple. So my question to all of you is, which form of the Lord do you offer obeisances, worship, etc.? Everybody please answer. Very important inquiry for all of you. It's going to be an eye-opener. All of you, one after the other, please answer. Which form of the Lord do you offer obeisances, worship, etc.? Shivaji.
Krishna.
Lord
And
Krishna,
Okay,
two-handed form.
Shivanshi and Sumnima says Krishna. Okay. Follow me.
Prabhuji, always two-handed form.
Okay,
Always.
two-handed Ram Sundar Krishna form. Okay. Raksha also says two-handed. Okay. Priyanka.
The deity form, the two-handed form.
Okay, two-handed. Okay. Ramya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have the deity from our temple, the two-handed form, but I also have the Narayana form, the four-handed form, because I'm from Kerala, and that's what we have worshipped all along from childhood.
Yeah, so right now, which form do you think you offer obeisances and worship and bhoga and everything?
I offer that to Krishna, and Narayana form is just a form of Krishna. So,
all right. Okay, hold your thought. Rest of you have not answered. I want answer from everyone. Parth, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, actually, we are seeing the 200 form. 200 form.
Okay.
That's why we
okay.
are.
Yeah, 200 Shyam Sundar Krishna form. Okay. Rest of you who have not answered.
Yeah, two-handed form, Prabhuji.
All right. Who is left? Tanisha? Padma Kumar?
Two-handed form, Prabhuji.
All right, almost unanimous answer. Danisha, last left. Which form do you offer worship obeisances? So the answer is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, verses 45 and 46, that for a neophyte, worship begins with worship of Lakshmi Narayan, even though the Archa Vigra form of Shri Radha Krishna is present. So I have explained multiple times that whenever Krishna comes, all other forms, all other incarnations come within the body of Krishna. So even though you may be offering obeisances and worship and bhoga to Shri Radha Krishna, actually it is to Lakshmi Narayan. And I did not make this up. These verses, Canto 4, Chapter 24, verse 45-46, is spoken by Lord Shiva as part of the very famous Rudra Gita. So I'll bring up on screen and we'll read translation and purport paragraph number 1. So 4, 24, 45, 46. Kunal, translation and paragraph 1.
The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, his bodily features also glisten. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful, highly raised nose, a mind-attracting smile, and beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. Purport: after the scorching heat of the summer season, it is very pleasing to see dark clouds in the sky. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita, I think I'll skip this, Prabhu. The Lord wears a peacock feather in his hair, and his bodily complexion is just like a blackish cloud. The word Sundara or Snigdha means very pleasing. Kandarpa Koti Kaminya, Krishna's beauty is so pleasing that not even millions upon millions of Cupid can compare to it. The Lord's form as Vishnu is decorated in all opulence. Therefore, Lord Shiva is trying to see the most opulent form of Narayan or Vishnu. Generally, the worship of the Lord begins with the worship of Narayan or Vishnu, whereas the worship of Lord Krishna and Radha is most confidential. Lord Narayan is worshipable by the Pancharatrika Vidhi or regulative principles, whereas Lord Krishna is worshipable by the Bhagavata Vidhi. No one can worship the Lord in the Bhagavata Vidhi without going through the regulations of the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi or the regulative principles enjoined in the Narada Pancharatra. Radha Krishna cannot be approached by the neophyte devotees. Therefore, temple worship according to regulative principles is offered to Lakshmi Narayana. Although there may be a Radha Krishna Vigraha or form, the worship of the neophyte devotee is acceptable as Lakshmi Narayana worship. Worship according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi is called Vidhi Marga. The worship according to the Bhagavata Vidhi principles is called Raga Marga. The principles of Raga Marga are especially meant for devotees who are elevated to the Vrindavana platform. Hare Krishna.
I want to hear from everybody again. Is this eye opener? Right? Yes, Archa Vigra form is there of Shri Radha Krishna. But actually, we should be worshipping, and whether or not we know, our worship is actually accepted by Lakshmi Narayan. Everybody?
So, Prabhuji,
Prabhuji, I have a
just
question.
Kunal, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Priyanka.
Kunal?
No, so Prabhuji, so I think Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada gave us this deity worship like format or regulative principles. But originally, as per Hindu scriptures, the Upanishads and the Vedas, they prescribe like Narayana and Lakshmi Narayan worship. Like even many ISKCON temples do have Lakshmi Narayan deities.
Yeah. What's your question?
No, I'm just trying to state the observation which is out of this purport.
Yeah, you are correct. So, yes, Prabhupada has given us Shri Radha Krishna's Archa Vigraha from everywhere. But Bhagavatam clearly states that although there may be in Radha Krishna Archa Vigraha form, but for a neophyte devotee, the worship is accepted by Lakshmi Narayan within the Radha Krishna's Archa Vigraha form. Priyanka?
Probably since Krishna came in the two-handed form in Vrindavan, then how do we understand this versus we should be praying to the two-handed form? Like not the two-handed form, but Lakshmi Narayan deity.
So Prabhupada explains both part, that there is Pancharatrika Vidhi and there is Bhagavad Vidhi. Bhagavad Vidhi is for those who are in the mood of Vrajvas. We don't have to artificially jump ourselves to Vrajvas mood. No, if I am a neophyte, I have to be in the Pancharatrika Vidhi to offer the worship with regulative principles. Now, whether or not I understand for a neophyte, the neophyte is following the Pancharatrika Vidhi, even though there is the Archa Vigraha form of Radha Krishna, it still is, the worship of a neophyte is still accepted by Lakshmi Narayan. So don't jump. I mean, the purport goes on to further explain, the Rudra Gita has a lot more details. Goes on to explain that we don't have to artificially jump. The Bhagavad Vidhi is for Vrajvasi. It comes in Rudra Gita. I'm just explaining briefly right now. Priyanka?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. I just...
Right, so you don't have to change the Archa Vigraha forms that you have. Just understand that, yes, although the Archa Vigraha form is of Radha Krishna, actually you're offering to Lakshmi Narayan. Means your worship is being accepted by Lakshmi Narayan form within the form of Krishna. Sumnima?
I think my question got answered, Prabhuji. Thank you.
All right, rest of you, I said I want to hear from you, all of you again.
So, Prabhuji, if you are bringing picture of like photo frame of Radha Krishna from Vrindavan, so actually it is being accepted by Lord Narayan and Lord Lakshmi.
Correct. Right? Prabhupada clearly said, yes, there may be Archa Vigraha form of Shri Radha Krishna, but within Krishna, all incarnations come together with Krishna. Only when Krishna comes. When other incarnations comes, they come by themselves. The other incarnations do not carry the rest of the incarnations. Only when Krishna comes, all other incarnations come together with Krishna, within the body of Krishna. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations?
Thank you, Jay. That was really helpful. I always used to wonder, like, if I have to change. But yeah, especially like in one of the older classes, I recall you mentioning to remove the
Remove demigods.
yeah, demigods, and also the other form of Krishna, which is the Kala Rupa. One another devotee had that. So then I was thinking, like, does it also include Narayana form? But I kept it all along.
You don't have to remove. So Lakshmi Narayan is okay. So whether you have Lakshmi Narayan or whether you have Vishnu or whether you have Shri Radha Krishna, you continue to maintain. Just understand that your worship, even though you are offering to Shri Radha Krishna, it's actually being accepted by Lakshmi Narayan form of Krishna within Krishna, because I am still a neophyte. I'm still trying to follow regulative principles, the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Remember?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
All right. Last question in the series of this question from one particular class is number 16. Why Bhima was in favor of killing Ashwatthama? Is he not a pure devotee and possess sufficient scriptural knowledge like his other family members? So we discussed in one of the previous class, Srila Prabhupada has explained in Bhagavatam 4.10.4. Srila Prabhupada says, it is a misunderstanding that devotees should not become angry. And further in Bhagavatam 4.11.31, Srila Prabhupada says, although one should control anger because anger is very detrimental, still in the common world, when there is mischief made by others, the devotee should not forget to become angry, at least for a little while, in order to drive away the miscreants. So Bhima is a ruler, and to punish the miscreants, the Kshatriya may have to even kill. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, I will answer few more inquiries. They will take a little short time. They are not time-consuming inquiries. Shravanji?
I would like to ask you a question, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
So, because I do not want to give a lot of information, but apparently my mother said like she was doing some demigod worship, and she said like all my planets are not good. Okay. And I was like, please don't do it, because it doesn't make sense. Like once you get into Krishna consciousness, it doesn't make sense. Because Krishna will take care of everything. So I'm just asking you like what like the devotional services and all the process that we're doing, like the japa and we are trying to do. I'm still bit worried because because what she said is very concerning, and I do not know it's the problem is like if like you know that you have certain karma attached, so if something is supposed to happen, it will definitely happen. But you also know that Krishna is there, so if we surrender to Krishna, then he can only like change that destiny. Otherwise, you do whatever, it's the same. So what would you like to say? Like I do not know. I'm kind of very anxious now. Like will
So,
things
so
keep
do
repeating?
devotion, yes,
Yeah.
do devotional services, and somebody who still has desire to worship demigods, then in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 discussion on demigods, I've also described how to worship demigods. So now, to worship demigods, don't offer bhoga to demigods. So offer bhoga to Krishna, and then when it becomes prasad, offer the prasad on a different plate than Krishna's plate. Offer that to demigods on demigods' plate as prasad. So you cannot make two plates of offering, that one for Krishna and one for demigods. It doesn't work that way. So I have described the process that if you are still interested to do demigod worship, continue. And little by little you will get purified. So you don't have to push anybody in terms of wanting to stop demigod worship. No, continue. Just do it right way. That's what you should explain. And For yourself, you continue devotional services that work for you. Every one of us is individual. So everyone has to follow their own path. Of course, devotional service is the right path, but not everybody is at the right path from day one. So there's a progression for everyone. Priyanshi?
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
All right. Let me quickly answer a few more inquiries. Question number 1. So again, question number 1, the sequence starts because these were submitted by you all from after a different class. So I'm not sure what the exact issue is, but there was some case going on between ISKCON Mumbai and ISKCON Bangalore before few months. Won't issues like this make materialistic people to go away from Krishna? How to explain to others if in case this type of question has to be faced? Now understand that devotees are also under the modes, at least at the starting phase of their spiritual path. Therefore, there are differences even among devotees. We ourselves, we should stay away from controversies and fights, etc. You all just go to the temple to do your services. Do not engage in gossip. Otherwise, devotion will negatively be impacted. What goes on? Just block yourself from knowing those things. You don't need to know all these things. Focus on your devotion and work on that. Question number 2. Becoming a vegetarian or reading Bhagavad Gita has now become a mark of nationalism and is like a propaganda in India. Even the word Sanatana Dharma is used loosely and mostly equated with Hinduism. All this is creating more resentment amongst people. Therefore, how one can preach responsibly and sensitively so that people are brought closer to Krishna rather than turning them away from Krishna. So preaching has to be done according to time, place, and circumstances. Preaching style of one country, if one tries to apply in another country, one is bound to find challenges. So you cannot blindly preach. Rather, you have to preach according to your own level and according to time, place, and circumstances. So preach by your behavior, that people will see and talk, oh, this is so nice devotee. Let me also follow what this devotee is following. Don't worry about the rest of the thing. Does that help? Question number 3. How to raise one's boundary politely and respectfully with a devotee when sometimes consciously or unconsciously another devotee may ask for a material favor or help. Now understand, it is okay to say no. Right? Just say no. I'm not interested right now. Just say no. It's okay to say no. Last question for today. How to fix the damage? Stop people from becoming selfish. Tell them to become a vegetarian and stop having unnecessary inventions and become content with the growth we have achieved. We don't need more factories generating the same products with more labels. As a Krishna conscious devotee, where should we start preaching? Should we advocate to change the education system to inculcate Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam as one of the courses? Or should we talk to government to ban meat eating and liquor houses? So understand, it is very difficult to change systems, especially government systems. And Prabhupada has given the solution in Bhagavatam 4.16.5. We'll soon read. Prabhupada says, to counter the situation created by fools and rascals sitting in decision-making position, the solution is one should simply chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So I'll bring up on screen 4.16.5. Priyanka can read translation and purport. Faster pace.
Hare Krishna. Translation. This king alone in his own body will be able in due course of time to maintain all living entities and keep them in pleasant condition by manifesting himself as different demigods to perform various departmental activities. Thus, he will maintain the upper planetary system by inducing the populace to perform Vedic sacrifices. In due course of time, he will also maintain this earthly planet by discharging proper rainfall.
So this is talking about Prithu Maharaj as an ideal king. So this chapter is on Prithu Maharaj, it's right here, Prithu Maharaj. And that's the comparison Prabhupada makes in the purport, that how a king should be ideal or a leader should be ideal, but today they are not. So what do you do? Continue.
But the demigods in charge of the various departmental activities that maintain this world are but assistants to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When an incarnation of God descends to this planet, demigods like Sun God, Moon God, or the King of Heaven, Indra, all join him. Consequently, the incarnation of Godhead is able to act for the departmental demigods to keep the planetary systems in order. The protection of the earthly planet is dependent on proper rainfall, and as stated in Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures, sacrifices are performed to please those demigods who are in charge of rainfall. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. Bhagavad Gita 3.14. Thus, the proper execution of yajna, sacrifice, is required. As indicated herein, King Prithu alone would induce all the citizens to engage in such sacrificial activities so that there would not be scarcity or distress. In Kali Yuga, however, the so-called secular state, the executive branch of government, is in the charge of so-called kings and presidents who are all fools and rascals, ignorant of the intricacies of nature's causes and ignorant of the principles of sacrifice. Such rascals simply make various plans which always fail, and the people subsequently suffer disturbances. To counteract this situation, the Shastras advise Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Naste Eva Gatiranyatha. Thus, in order to counteract this unfortunate situation in government, the general populace is advised to chant the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Does that answer the inquiry that we all should focus on ourselves chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly? Yes, you can and you should preach to those you are able to influence. But in terms of changing systems, it's very difficult. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Questions, comments, realizations? I still have more questions to answer from before. I won't answer today. I'm hoping all of you got a lot of heavy doses. So I will post a Google link in the chat, as well as I will post a YouTube link in the chat for the next class recording of a previous batch to listen to, which is from Canto 1, Chapter 11. So you can please listen to. Now, as I said at the start, I will post in the chat a link for contributing to the upcoming Kirtan event here in Toronto. Now, when you contribute, after your name into brackets, I request if you can please put my name, Ramvilas Team. because you are outside of the accountants group. So there's no pressure that you have to donate. But if you want, there's an opportunity to contribute for the upcoming Kirtan event. Now, initially, when you click the link, it will ask you for a phone number where initially will be get verified by a one-time password. Only then it will let you enter. So you can enter. Initially, it was only restricted to a Canadian number. I did ask the organizer to open it up for all across the world. I'm not sure. If it's not open, you can always connect and contribute with another local Toronto devotee if that works for you. Again, there's no pressure. This is completely voluntary for you all. And the last thing for today is Sumnima. So Sumnima has created a very good app to keep all of us occupied on the path of spirituality. So this app lets you answer inquiries and also gives you the right and wrong answer. It's a multiple choice. It's a right and wrong answer. So even if you do a wrong answer, it will give you, okay, this is not right because so and so. So try and see how it works. Sumnima, you wanna post the link in the chat, Zoom chat, and then also explain something?
Yes, Hare Krishna. So I just posted the link here. It is basically a quiz, and I just wanted everybody to reflect as you go through the answers. Sometimes the answers the options all could be wrong. So instead of blindly, trusting the answers, you could always come back and verify with the actual verses. So that also helps us to revise further and solidify whatever we have.
Very good. Yeah, the app is very easy. So far we have restricted to few chapters so far, and Sumnima will keep opening up the chapters as we progress in our Bhagavatam study. Thank you, Sumnima. That's a very appropriate use of your ability in Krishna's service. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Radha Krishna.
Very good approach, very good attitude. Are we okay to stop here?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.